Hello and welcome to It's Only Electric. It's time for a 1000 kilometers range test, long trip with this, the Tesla Model Y long range all-wheel drive in stealth grey with 20-inch rims. And we're going to drive from Stockholm to Oslo and all the way back to Stockholm again.
And the purpose of that is to have a track day with Tesla at Rudskogen's Motor Center, just outside of Oslo. We drive some plaids and some performance models, and we chose to drive by car instead of taking the plane.
Yes, we're gonna burn some rubber on that track, but this video is about the insights of the long trip. So charge times, efficiency, total range, total costs of charging, etc.
Let's start.
It's only electric.
First status update, we have been driving for 285 kilometers almost. We have been taking turns, so I started out, now you're driving. But average consumption, 165.7 or 16.6 kilometers per 100 kilometers.
Yes.
That's a good consumption.
Yeah, it's been high speed roads, so.
Yeah, so highway driving all the time almost, and we have 32% battery left. We started at 96. So about 170 kilometers of actual range left. And as you see here, that's a good consumption. And we have almost 1 hour or 45 minutes left for charging or to the charger, and it's a Tesla V3 supercharger, 250 kilowatts.
Yeah.
So we expect a short stop, but we anyway plan to eat at that stop. Yeah, and I mean it's time for a late lunch. We have had between 21 and 19 degrees Celsius, so good road conditions,
really good,
and therefore also a good consumption.
Yep.
So this is about how good it can get, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah.
The weather is pretty much optimal.
Yeah. And the traffic situation has been good too.
Yeah.
We have been keeping a good pace and sticking to the speed limits. I charged the car, charged it up at home. So in the calculation of charging costs, the first charge will be home charging. I think that's fair, because if you have an EV, you can't always add superchargers.
No.
That's not the point. So that will be taken into account.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Even though if you don't have home charger, maybe you have a street charging or...
Yeah, something that's cheaper than supercharging. And you have been driving it the last 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
I see you're struggling a bit with the autopilot.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I really loved the Tesla autopilot before.
Yeah.
They were really early, but it really likes to stick to the lane.
Yeah.
Even though if I put on the blinker, it doesn't want.
Stays put. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't want to change every time.
No.
I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or if I'm used to all the other cars.
We're changing cars every week almost, and trying different cars. So it takes time to adapt.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I'm driving the Skoda Enyaq.
Yeah, you have the Skoda Enyaq now.
Yeah, and that one I have no problem at all. I'm using auto lane change and everything all the time.
Yeah.
And I haven't had the same problems at all.
No.
But that's probably what I'm used to drive right now. A lot of Volkswagen cars and other safety systems, because Tesla one is pretty different from all the other ones.
I mean, yeah, it is. This one at least, because all press cars, this is our official Swedish Tesla press car that we're using now. And they always equip their cars with the enhanced autopilot too. So we have enhanced, lane change, automatic lane change, because that's not standard. That's an extra fee for getting that. So it behaves a bit different with that setting on. Otherwise, you need to always de-engage and disengage and re-engage autopilot when switching lanes.
Yeah, and that's really bad.
That should be standard nowadays.
Yeah. because a lot of cars do that.
Yeah. Yeah, almost every brand do that now. A lot. Not every, but a lot of them do actually.
Yeah.
Some of them don't work that good. I mean, I tried the Volvo EX90. It was almost impossible to get that to work. I mean, 1 out of 10 times maybe it could give me a auto lane change.
Yeah.
That's really disappointing. This one does it more often.
The lane change actually works pretty good.
Yeah.
It really recommends and it shows you really clearly on the screen.
Yeah, that has been updated. It's better
Yeah,
now.
you see like a blue box and you can see where it changed, where the car puts itself and so
Yeah.
on. And it also recommends to do a takeover
Yeah.
when you have a car going slowly in front of you.
And when you
So
have
it-
space on your side.
Yeah, exactly. So it predicts that you want to change the lanes beforehand and so on. So that's really nice actually.
Yeah.
You get a small message. Have you seen that?
Yeah, a blue message.
Yeah. So that's really nice. It just, for me, sticks a little bit too much. Even though I have the blinker on, it doesn't want me to change the lane.
No, then you need to
sometimes.
force it to change.
You
Yeah.
need to force it. And if you force other cars, you don't have to force them in the same way.
No, this is more rough.
It like lets you change lane if you want it. At least when you have the blinker on.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
But probably some you get used to it.
Yeah, you will, you will. But
Now it's didn't.
yeah, so now it's
I
got
don't know what it is.
confused.
Yeah, it confused 2 lanes.
We're driving on 2+1 road, so it's alternating between 2 lanes and 1 lane all the time. So yeah, so you can pass like slow trucks, etc.
Yeah.
And then sometimes get confused when the merge happens or the dismerge happens.
Exactly.
It struggles to find the right lane, but that happens for a lot of systems actually. And I have had the same issues with my Model Y
Yeah.
or my Teslas since forever.
Yeah.
But okay, so it definitely feels a bit more silent than my old Model Y
It does.
performance. Yeah,
It does, especially now in higher speeds.
yeah. It
and
is
on
not
long
night
roads.
and day, but it is more silent.
It is.
Yeah,
We haven't listened to any music or anything, so we have just keep it calm in the car.
Yeah.
So focusing on the sound volume of the car, the cabin noise. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot more quiet. It is.
I don't know if it's a lot, but it's
Yeah,
it's more
it is.
quiet. Yeah,
But actually, the Model Y regular one is not that quiet, like the old one.
no, but this is not quiet either. It's still a fairly noisy car, if you ask me.
It's more middle of the pack.
Yeah, and yeah,
It's like a medium segment car.
it's a medium segment car.
It's nothing special.
No.
Maybe even a little bit higher noise
Yeah.
than like.
Yeah, and the interesting thing here is that, as you said, you have the Skoda Enyaq
Yes.
press car also, the updated version, facelift,
Yeah.
85X. That's the perfect car to compare with this one, all-wheel drive long range. So we are going to do that in 2 days.
Yes.
We're going to compare, do a brothers comparing cars. So stay tuned for that video. We'll put the link up here.
Here normally.
when it's available. First charge stop, supercharger,
Oh yeah.
V4, co-funded with the European Union.
Nice.
V4s is the thing, you know. So now we are planning to charge up to approximately 80%. I think the car says like less than that. It says 10 minutes.
But then we'll arrive with 10%, right?
Yeah,
It said that before at least.
yes. So we don't want to arrive with 10% because we're gonna drive around a little bit to the track, etc. So we need some extra juice. So we will stay a bit longer.
Maybe 20 minutes, probably.
Yeah, 20 minutes. And as you see here, charge speed now.
It says here, but it's small.
Yeah, it's very small. Here we have the price too. 4 Swedish crowns per kilowatt hour.
192 kilowatts charging right now.
Yeah.
And
So
state of charge was 20%.
Yeah.
Is
So it was preheating the battery pack. It gave us the message, even if it's 23 degrees outside. 16.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. 350 kilometers driven.
so, yeah.
Yeah, so we have like 2 hours left, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So we're gonna eat now.
And we had 17% when we came here, right?
Yeah.
So we could have done like 400 kilometers at least.
Yes.
Without stopping.
Yeah. So 400 kilometers is easily possible.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. So that's what you can expect if you want to stretch it a bit. I mean, driving it to 10% or 5% is fine if you're used to it. So now 17% is not perfectly optimized, but
No.
this was the best charging stop
Yeah.
for us now.
And we're hungry.
And we are hungry, we need to eat. So we are almost in Oslo, but it's called Fredrikstad. Yeah. And we just call it Oslo because it's easier to understand, but Fredrikstad is actually a couple of kilometers south of Oslo.
Yeah.
Because it's closer to the actual track tomorrow. And we spent in total 6 hours and 55 minutes for the one way. Driving, yeah, minus, and that's with charging included.
Okay.
Yeah, and we stopped for 32 minutes. That's the charge session from 17 to 80%.
Yeah. Not the quickest.
No, fairly slow first, but to be fair, to reach the destination with 10% margin, we only needed 10 minutes of charging,
Yeah.
according to the car itself.
Yeah.
But we spent 20 minutes extra to fill up the battery because we need it tomorrow.
Exactly. And we don't want to find some.
No, we don't want to stress about that, and there is no. We haven't looked for a destination charger, etc. But there is chargers around. But we didn't plan for it. Yeah. So if you optimize it more, you can go in 6.5 hour.
Yeah, easily.
Flight, yeah.
Easily.
And that's for 542 kilometers one way.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Higher speeds.
higher speeds around 100 kilometers per hour in average speed,
Yeah.
or 95, 100, something
Probably,
in that ballpark. And we spent 84.5 kilowatt hours one way. Average consumption 15.6.
Yeah.
That's kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That's
Really good.
That's really good.
It's Tesla efficiency.
Yeah, it's Tesla efficiency, very hard to beat, and there was approximately no rain at all. It was dry roads for 96% maybe.
Yeah,
It was 1 or 2
small.
kilometers with like small amount of rain.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, totally dry roads, and between 19 and 21 or 23 degrees, so average around 20 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
So pretty optimal conditions.
Yeah, of course, of
Yeah.
course.
But still, 15.6. That's good.
And many cars wouldn't do that.
No. Probably, maybe some of the MBB cars. But
Maybe with
maybe
rear-wheel drive.
yeah. But other than that, very hard to reach that numbers actually. So I guess that's the summary for today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're going to the track. We'll show you some materials about that in the video, another video, and we're going back to Stockholm and documenting all the numbers, the total cost,
Charging costs.
and kilowatt hours spent, etc.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so
And
that's
total efficiency also.
Yeah. So this is the second day. We are heading back towards Sweden.
Yeah. So we started in Fredrikstad.
Yeah.
And drove to, what's it called?
Rudviken
Motor Center.
Motor Center.
So drove some Teslas, some Plaids, some Model 3 Performance.
Yeah, so a full track day.
Yeah, a really interesting day.
Yeah, it was really funny. It happened some really exciting things.
Yeah.
I won't spoil that here, but watch that video. You're laughing, but it was not that funny at that moment.
No, it wasn't.
Afterwards, it is.
It was stressful.
Yeah, a stressful situation. But status update then.
Yeah. So we arrived at Rudskogen with 38%
Yeah,
state of charge.
yeah.
And that was from the previous day. We charged at the supercharger in Sweden.
So only one charge at the way to Norway.
Exactly.
And then we topped up in Norway
Exactly. So we
at the
topped
motor
up.
center.
Exactly. To skip, hopefully stopping on the way to all the way home.
Yeah, going one go.
Yeah, to save some time. right?
Yeah, right.
So we topped it up. We were at 38%, and we topped it up
38 to 98.
98%.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So now it says that we will arrive at 7% battery. We'll see about that, depending on the weather, I guess. But it's still dry roads, 19 degrees Celsius, so similar weather to yesterday, so good conditions. Average consumption for the whole trip until now, 15.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers.
Yeah.
And we have consumed 97 kilowatt hours in total and driven 625 kilometers.
Yep.
So quite a distance,
Yes.
good consumption.
Really good.
Yeah, and we'll see how this ends up. We did talk a bit about comfort, but more towards autopilot and noise.
Yeah.
We haven't
We did.
addressed more comfort like suspension, but also the seats, the steering feel, etc.
Yeah.
I mean, you have been driving it more than me now, but for this trip.
I have.
Yeah, so what do you feel?
Like, I really like the steering.
Yeah, why?
It's really precise.
Hmm?
It's really settled. So it follows the road really well, but without being twitchy or anything. It's really it's really stable. Just
Yeah, it's very stable. It's very
Yeah. And really direct.
extremely direct. It's
Yeah.
almost a go-kart feel on the steering.
But still not in a bad way. If you have,
No.
say, a Porsche, something with too big tires and too wide, it sticks a little bit too much. But this is still comfortable,
Yeah,
even though it's direct and follows the road really good.
yeah,
And the suspension also has been really great on this journey, at least. The roads have been pretty good, actually.
yeah. We had good roads all the way.
Yeah. But it's pretty calm. No
Yeah.
miss sounds.
No, the suspension is silent, and it's fairly good on highways.
Yeah,
It is not too jumpy in this road conditions, at least.
not at all.
And I agree with the steering, because today when I've tried out the Model S Plaid and the multi-performance is a lot more like the steering in this one.
Yeah.
You get almost the same feel, and as you said, it's very distinct in the steering. And
Yeah,
you don't need
it is.
much movement. There's no there's no gap in the steering at all.
Not at
It's
all.
super direct, and I like that because it's more engaging that way.
Yeah.
But you need to hold it, because
need to, yeah.
if you play around with it, it will wobble.
Yeah.
That's the downside if you're not used to
Yeah,
it.
it's really quick.
Yeah, it's extremely quick.
But in a good way still.
Yeah.
I think this is a pro of Tesla in general, especially Model 3 and Model Y.
Yeah,
The steering is really direct, but also the pedal for acceleration and regen are so precise.
yeah, so precise, so granular.
I think probably the best cars in that regard.
Yeah, I most often refer when we try other cars, review cars. I at least most often, almost every time, refer to the Model Y I had, because that's kind of a reference point, kind of the benchmark for driving dynamics.
Yeah.
Now we're not talking about luxury or premium car feeling. We're talking about direct steering,
Exactly.
regen, and as you said, the granularity of controlling the accelerator is amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I especially feel it when I change car to,
Yeah.
say, a Volkswagen Group or something else. Doesn't matter what car. But you try to park it to drive really slowly, like 1, 2, 3 kilometers per hour. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
I'm always ready with the brake. But
Yeah,
Tesla,
yeah.
you don't think about it. You just press the pedal just a little bit, and you're 1 or 2 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, so it's so easy to
So easy to-
creep,
Yeah.
because some cars, as you say, you just press it a bit too hard and it kind of jerks,
Yeah.
jumps forward, and you get a bit scared to hit something.
Yeah, and you can feel when it brakes a little bit, and you can feel the difference between regen and braking in
Yeah.
another way. Tesla is still top in this regard.
Very hard to beat in that.
Yeah.
In that. And regarding the seats, then,
The seats, they're not my favorite.
no,
They're a little bit short,
and they're short. Yeah,
and I want some more side bolsters. I prefer sport seats
Yeah.
in general.
I think the side bolsters on the back are good.
Decent,
I think they're good.
decent.
Yeah. Decent. The seating though is a bit flat.
It's a little flat and short.
And
primarily.
short, yeah, it's short. It's smaller seats,
Yeah.
but they're very soft and comfy.
They are
It
actually
almost
comfy.
feels like Nappa leather, but it isn't.
Yeah.
So it's a good touch and feel to it, and they're ventilated, so that's
Yeah.
a big bonus.
Yeah, it's really. It has
Yeah.
been amazing on this travel at least.
Yeah. But we did drive the multi-performance
Yeah.
with sport seats.
And they're better.
They are a lot better.
Yeah.
And they look better, and they also feel better. Not only for track driving, they felt better in general.
In general.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
really liked sport seats.
Yeah.
But still, it's not my favorite seats, but they are comfy.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing long trips in it, and
Yeah.
we're not complaining about the comfort.
No, not my back, not my butt, nothing.
But
Everything
it's not
feels...
a premium car seat.
No, it isn't.
So we are finally back home and charging again.
Yeah.
But not for this trip. So we actually arrived at home with 4%
Yeah.
of state of charge.
So
That's on the
optimal.
margin. That's yeah, but that's how we do it. We optimize the trips.
Yeah.
So in total, we started off with almost a full battery, 96%
Yeah.
when starting from home. We charged once on the road. We filled up 52 kilowatts on the way to Norway.
Yeah.
And on the way back, we actually charged once, and that was at the racetrack.
Exactly.
Yeah. So in total, we drove 1,024 kilometers, and we consumed 160 kilowatt hours
Yeah. Total.
in total. Average consumption 15.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers.
And that's great.
That's a good efficiency.
Really great.
Yeah, that's a good efficiency.
Because the average speed should be over 100 kilometers per hour.
I
Probably.
think maybe 100.
Maybe 100. Yeah.
Just around 100 kilometers per hour. Total cost of charging, including the full charge at home, was 490 Swedish crowns,
Yeah.
or 45 euros,
Yeah. Exactly.
or around 52 US dollars. Yeah.
So,
So
and that's two superchargers.
two superchargers, of course, with a Tesla, so it's a bit cheaper
Yeah.
than when you charge with another vehicle, depending on if you are a member, etc. There is
But you can actually-
subscriptions, etc. So we can get cheaper too. But this is the cheapest price if you have a Tesla.
You can even get a little bit cheaper, right? Because the first one was.
Yeah,
Depending on
depending
time
on
and-
time on charger, etc. The price is
Varying. Yeah.
varying depending on the site and the time on the day, etc.
Exactly.
So, but with our times during daytime, etc., what we did, 490 Swedish crowns, say
Yeah.
500.
Say 500. Yeah.
And that's including the charging at home. And then I calculated of 120 SEK, Swedish
Yeah,
crowns,
for home charging.
for home
Exactly.
charging per kilowatt hour. So almost 90, almost 100 crowns, Swedish crowns, or
Yeah.
nine euros for filling up at home.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's the total calculation, the total trip. And what we see now is that we easily get just over 400 kilometers on a full charge.
Yeah.
Yes. So around 420 is what you can expect.
Yeah. If you
Oh.
don't drive constant over 120.
No, if you stick
it's
to the
over.
speed limits on Swedish, Norwegian, Danish roads,
Yeah.
you can easily get 420 kilometers of full range.
Yep.
But then keep in mind, I'm not talking about 80% of the battery, probably more like close to 100%.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So 400 kilometers is more or less usable range during long trips.
Yeah. And total cost you said was
490 Swedish crowns.
490
Yeah.
Swedish crowns. And you can make this more expensive by only supercharging?
Yes, and you can also make it cheaper
Yeah.
if you charge overnight at the hotel and on a slow charger. Some hotels have it for free still, but a lot of them has a cheaper price per kilowatt hour than supercharging.
Yeah.
But with that said, supercharging for Tesla owners is still very cheap
Yeah.
compared to other networks, and that's what we see, because I normally with other cars also charge on superchargers, and it gets a bit more expensive, and other charging networks also tend to be a bit more expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
As a general thing, you know.
Yeah, that's true. So efficient car, great range at high speeds.
Yeah.
It's typical Tesla.
Yes.
Efficiency, like the best efficiency.
Yeah.
For the size of car and everything, of course.
Yeah. But still, it's extremely efficient.
Yeah, for being a big, mid-size SUV.
Yeah, and when we spent, actually, since we charged during the track day, we didn't wait for the car.
We didn't.
So the only time or the only stop was actually the charge on the way to Norway.
Yeah.
And we spent, what was it? Let me double check that. We spent 32 minutes at the charger.
Yeah. Which is not that good.
Which is slow.
It is
and
slow.
We charged from 17%
to 80%, right?
to 80%. That's not that good.
And we navigated to charger.
Yes, and because it's tapering quick downwards,
It is,
because it's starting off really good. As we're charging now, we hit like 250 fairly quick.
For a couple of minutes, maximum.
Yeah, for a couple of minutes, and now it's at 39%, but 126 kilowatts. So it's tapering evenly, but steadily and quick. Charging could be quicker, but the optimal charge delta is between like 5% up to 30 or 35.
Something,
Yeah,
which is pretty
that's
low, actually.
That's pretty low, but if you stay between those, you can like charge 5 minutes every time.
Yeah.
Top up 5 minutes, do quick stops instead of longer
Yeah, you
stops
could
of
if you
an hour.
really... Yeah,
It's like plug surfing,
if you want to
quick stops.
do that. But
Yeah, but then you do...
it's harder.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone wants to stop that often.
No, but if you hit like... No, but if you just want to maximize
If you want to maximize, of
the
course.
time and arrive as quick as possible, and the chargers always is convenient place close to the highway, then that's probably 5 minute stops is the optimal way of using a
of
Tesla.
course. Especially Tesla,
Yeah.
It is.
So I think that's all the information we got today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
And it's getting noon very soon. So we're
12 o'clock.
midnight. I mean,
Midnight.
yeah.
Noon. Tired.
We're closing into midnight. It's 10 minutes to midnight, and it's time for us to get to sleep.
Yeah, we've been going since 8 o'clock this morning, filming another video on the racetrack.
Yeah.
Eventful.
Yeah, and tomorrow we're gonna compare this car.
This car with the Skoda
Yeah.
Enyaq, the
Yeah.
facelifted one. So we're
That
gonna
will
drive
be
for
interesting.
3.5 hours more,
Yeah, one way.
plus a little bit more,
Yeah.
and then back again.
Yeah. And record some videos for you guys. So that's all for today.
Yeah, that's all.
Subscribe, like,
Share the video.
yeah.
Comment what you want to see. If you have any requests, other cars, other tests.
Yeah. Share your thoughts.
As we always say, stay electric.
Thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.